Hey there and welcome. You ever feel like you need, a power-up at work, some way to really make your voice heard and get a real say in what happens on the job? Well, today we're unlocking the official guide to teaming up with your colleagues and building a union.
You know that feeling? When your concerns about pay, or your hours, or even safety just seem to vanish into thin air? You are definitely not alone. And that exact feeling is why the law actually provides a really powerful tool for change. I want you to think of it this way. Forming a union is basically like building a team. And every good team needs a rule book, right? Well, in this case, that rule book is the law. And it's literally designed to help you and your coworkers team up to make your workplace better for everyone. So, before you start recruiting for your team, you've got to have a clear mission. So, what is a union, really? And why does it matter? Let's take a look at the official definition, straight from the legal blueprint. The law itself, in Article 1, keeps it super simple. The whole point is to promote worker solidarity, to improve your status, and to better your livelihood. It's not about starting trouble, it's about having collective strength. It's a formal, legally recognized team with one clear goal, making work better for the whole crew. So, what's on the to-do list for this new team of yours? Well, for starters, you can negotiate contracts as a group. That's how you get things like better pay and benefits. A union also has your back in disputes, it pushes for safer conditions, and can even campaign for better laws that protect all workers. It's a pretty powerful support system to have. Okay, so we've got the what and the why down. Now for the really good stuff, the how. We're talking about the practical, step-by-step blueprint for actually putting your team together. Okay, first things first, you need to know the magic number, and that number is 30. This comes straight from Article 11 of the Trade Union Act. The very first thing you need is a core group of at least 30 coworkers who are ready to sign on as initiators. That's the minimum to get the ball rolling officially. Now, that might sound like a lot, but it always starts with just a few quiet conversations with coworkers you trust. Next up, you've got to decide what kind of team you're building. Are you all working at the same company? If so, that's called an enterprise union. Or maybe you're all in the same field, but spread out across different companies, like say tech workers or electricians. That would be an industry union. The law gives you these options so you can pick the one that makes the most sense for your situation.
And here it is, your 5-step playbook, all laid out in Article 11. Once you have your 30-plus people, you form a small preparatory committee. That group then drafts the team's constitution, basically its rulebook. After that, you hold your first big meeting to approve everything and elect leaders. And finally, you submit all the paperwork to the local government. Once they give you the green light, congratulations, your union is officially a real thing.
And this is super important, so listen up. Remember this crucial point from Article 4. This right belongs to almost everyone. The law is really clear that workers have the right to organize. There are very few exceptions, and it's mainly for active military personnel. So chances are, you and your colleagues are good to go.
All right, so your team is assembled. It's official. That's awesome. But how does it actually run day to day? Who calls the plays and makes sure everything is working the way it's supposed to?
Okay, so let's talk about the roster. Who gets to be on the team? Essentially, it's for the workers. Now, Article 14 makes a pretty important distinction here. High-level managers, the ones who really act on behalf of the employer, generally can't join their employees' enterprise union. And the reason for this is simple. It prevents a conflict of interest. It's all about making sure the union's mission stays pure. It has to be for the workers, by the workers.
Every team needs leaders, right? In a union, you have two key roles. You've got the directors. Think of them as the team strategists, led by a chairperson. They handle all the day-to-day business. And then you have the supervisors. They're kind of like the auditors. They keep an eye on the finances and make sure everything is being done by the book. It's a solid system of checks and balances.
But here is the absolute golden rule, the most important part of this whole thing. Your union is a democracy. The real power, it belongs to the members. As Article 26 lays out, all the major decisions, we're talking changing the rules, selling property, electing leaders, all of that must be put to a vote at a general meeting. Your voice always matters.
Okay, now we're getting to what might be the single most important part of this whole explainer. Look, starting a union takes courage. And you might be sitting there wondering, am I protected if I do this? And the answer is a resounding, emphatic yes. The law gives you what I like to call a golden shield.
And this quote right here, this is the core of that shield. It's pulled directly from Article 35 of the Trade Union Act, and it lays the foundation for something called unfair labor practices. So let's break down exactly what that means for you.
So let's be crystal clear. Your employer is legally forbidden from doing any of these things. They cannot fire you, demote you, or cut your pay just because you're involved with a union. They can't make you promise not to join as a condition for getting a job. And they absolutely cannot interfere with your union's legitimate activities. These 5 points, they are your core legal protections.
And just so you know, this shield has some serious teeth. The second part of Article 35 says that if an employer fires, demotes, or cuts your pay for any of these illegal reasons, that action is legally null and void. What does that mean? It's as if it never even happened in the eyes of the law. The law doesn't just discourage this stuff, it completely invalidates it.
Phew, that was a lot, I know. So let's do a quick Q&A to wrap up and really nail down the most important points and address the biggest concerns you might have.
All right, let's just get right to it. This is the big one, the question on everyone's mind. It's the fear that holds so many people back. So let's be perfectly, absolutely clear on the answer.
The answer is a huge, absolute no. Not a chance. Firing someone for union organizing is one of the clearest examples of an unfair labor practice under Article 35. That golden shield of protection we just talked about, it was designed specifically to stop that from happening.
Okay, next up. Is this whole union thing just for a select few, or is it a right that belongs to everybody? Who exactly gets to be a part of this team?
Once again, the law is super clear on this. Article 4 says this is a fundamental right for workers. This isn't some kind of special privilege. It's a tool that's available to you and your coworkers to build a stronger, fairer workplace, together.
So there you have it. The blueprint is there, the shield is in place, and the mission is clear. The law provides the whole framework, but you have to remember, the strength of any team comes from its members. Building that team, well, that's up to you. So the only question left is, are you ready to level up your workplace?